I love posting to Instagram. It automatically goes to Facebook and Twitter. Let me do a picture of Paroedura vazimba. It's one of the very small geckos that we keep. Let me write a title here, and Paroedura vazimba, and post. Hi, Crystal.
Hi.
See the picture that I posted?
Yes, I did. Grandpa, what's that word?
It's Paroedura. Oh no, what did I do? An absolutely true story several years ago where I posted about Paroedura vazimba, V-A-Z-I-M-B-A. And when I posted, it auto-corrected, and this is what it showed. I didn't realize until a few days later that it didn't put vazimba in there in the description. It's funny, if you go into my Instagram account right now, you can actually find that picture and the incorrect spelling. So today we're going to talk about Paroedura vazimba. This is in a genus that I absolutely love. This genus, Paroedura, includes so many different geckos, anywhere from the Androyensis, which is a really teeny tiny leaf litter gecko, very similar to vazimba, which we'll get into a little bit later, very small, all the way to the very big Pictogecko or Pictus or Madagascar ground gecko, Gracilis, and Paroedura iberiensis. A lot of different geckos, really a unique genus of geckos. So let me run downstairs, let me grab their tank. I'm going to bring it up here so we can get a better view of these unique animals. And while I do that, while I set up the camera, we'll go ahead and talk about Paroedura vazimba and some of their requirements. Okay, we're back with the tank. This is a 5.5 gallon tank, and we'll go ahead and take a look inside of the tank in just a moment. Let me talk a little bit about Paroedura vazimba. And if you want more information, make sure that you visit the Supreme Gecko page. You can navigate over to other geckos and navigate over to Paroedura vazimba, the Paroedura genus, and then Paroedura vazimbas, and find just a ton of information on this page. If you're interested in other geckos, certainly take a look at this page for all kinds of information on other genuses and species. In there, you'll find out that Paroedura vazimba is a small gecko. They're only about 2.5 inches long. They come from Madagascar, the west side of Madagascar, and you can find them in leaf litter. So during the day, they like to hide out in the leaf litter where it's real humid, down on the forest floor in the leaf litter. Because they are small, they like to hide a lot during the day. And then at night, they'll come out and they'll position themselves right around the tree trunks or branches, very small, very low off the ground, and they'll look for prey items in more of an ambush kind of manner. So we keep their tanks with belly heat, and we keep them around the ambient temperature we keep around the mid 70s or so, and then the warm spot we'll keep in the low 90s to 95. We keep a water dish, a food dish of course, and several little hides. Most important with this enclosure is that you have an area that's moist, somewhere where they can get in and maintain that hydration for their bodies. One thing you can do is include branches as well. I like to keep them in this 5 gallon. You can also keep them in a 12 by 12 by 18 Exoterra or Zillet enclosure, giving them a little bit more height rather than a lot of terrestrial area, and that seems to work out really well. As the substrate we like to keep as a dirt, sand, jungle mix. That works out really well for us. I like to put leaf litter on the bottom, and again, we'll take a look at this closer in just a moment, and just some other various decoration. Again, have a hide with, I like to use sphagnum moss in a corner to keep that area hydrated. For breeding, it's super easy to tell the males from the females. They get to be sexually mature around 8, 10, 12 months of age, and you can tell the males by the bulge near the tail area. When they're ready to breed, you can really tell the females because they'll bulk up. Normally they're a little bit bigger than the males, but when they're ready to breed and when they're gravid, they really get round. When the female is ready to lay, she'll find an area right on the edge of that moist and dry area. I like to keep part of the enclosure moist, probably around 20% of it, and the rest dry, but she'll find an area right on that line and she'll plant her eggs. She'll dig a little hole in the substrate and lay her eggs there. And you can find them easily by sifting gently through the substrate around that area of the tank. We occasionally miss the tank 2 times a week, once or twice a week. Again, we have the water dish, but we like to have that moisture in the tank to maintain that humidity. For food items, you can feed small mealworms. You can feed small crickets, anything 1/4 of an inch or smaller. You can feed baby dubias. They're really not a picky feeder as far as a gecko goes. So let's jump in and take a look at this enclosure. And then we'll look at a surprise here as well. So here you can see the setup. Again, it's a 5-gallon. Let me get an overview. And from the side again, and you can see that I have a moist side here. And this is the warm side as well. I have a heat tape running about this area to keep this tank in the low 90s range. And the rest of the tank is in the mid 70s. You can see plenty of hides. The water dish, the food dish, I don't have anything in the food dish. We'll throw some micro mealworms and maybe some baby dubias in here and see if we can get a feeding response in just a second. A little bit of leaf litter. An overturned flower saucer with a little notch in it for a hide. Cork bark. Over on this side again, you can see the flower pot. Some leaves just to add decorations and some more protection for these animals. And lots of sphagnum moss in this corner, which I keep moist. Let's go ahead and take a look inside and see if we can find those Paroedura vazimbas. This is sometimes a challenge because they are small and they blend in so well with their background. So we're going to start taking out some of this decor, and we do find them. Look at that color. They blend in so well, and they just sit there so calm. Look at that tail. Very similar to the Androensis. It doesn't move the tail quite like the Androensis. Really cool animal. I'm going to move this one down into the on the substrate, and we'll see if they'll go ahead and feed for us. Let's go ahead and drop some food and see if they'll feed for us. This is always a challenge because I know that they've just eaten a day or so ago. So to do this on cue, well, I say that and it takes it right away. Hungry little guys. A little bit higher metabolism for these small animals than bigger animals, so I think they're always hungry. It's already eyeing up that other mealworm. There it goes. Strike one. They just can't resist the mealworms moving around like that. Let's see if we can find the other Paroedura vazimba, and we'll see if we can get that one to eat a dubia. Again, I feed these dubias to these vazimbas at about newborn to about 2 or 3 weeks old. Couldn't resist the dubia. Let's take a look at that hide. And again, very, very moist under here. The whole substrate on this corner of the tank is moist. And this hide helps hold that humidity in that area for them. Never, ever, ever have any shed problems with these animals. How about if we look at some babies? Let me reset up this tank, and I'll be right back. We're back, and just real quick, we received these Paroedura vazimbas in the fall of 2019 as a couple of females, and I already had some males, so this worked out just perfect for me. And we've been lucky enough to get some babies. So let's go ahead and open this up, and I want to show you a baby Paroedura vazimba. You can see this little setup is very humid. Again, they really like that humidity in their setup. A little water dish, which they always get messy. Little food dish, and I don't know if you can see it off in the left-hand bottom corner here. But there's a baby. Look at that tail. Isn't that cool? And if I'm not mistaken, there's a second baby right there. They blend in so well with their substrate, with the forest floor. But they are just the coolest little animals. Again, very similar to Paroedura androyensis, their cousins. Let's go ahead and put that back. Looks like this one wants to get out, or maybe it's hungry. I'll go off and feed in just a minute and give them some food. Let's go ahead and put this back. Thank you again, everybody, for watching this video. If you're really interested in these animals, go ahead and check out Paroedura androyensis. I'll throw the link up above or on the side here. Very interesting animal as well. Hit that like, hit the subscribe. Thanks again for watching.